some damage with that, and then finally, Final Flame! Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero, and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 Trials to Glory! So we're in the Shadow Realm once again. Shadow Realm lets us use any number of, it has no restrictions on the cards that you put in your deck. I was gonna say it lets you use any number of cards, but I obviously can't put 40 Pots of Greed. And I've been using this section as a way to like explore and test out various decks, but I'm running into an issue where there's, not a lot of cards out in this part of the game, because this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship 2005, but technically we really only have cards from 2004, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Released in like 2002, so that's only 2 years of cards, which, really isn't a lot. There's maybe, I don't know, there might be like 1,000 cards, which, sounds like a lot, but at least 800 of them are just, random vanilla monsters that don't do anything. So, nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can dual snake here. So you're not a resident of this world. Then let me test to see if your skills are good enough to survive here. With this deck that I've got here, this deck is a sort of burn deck. It's a very odd deck. I'm trying to delay making a goat control deck and a chaos deck with Yadagrasu, Chaos Lock, whatever you want to call that. I'm trying to delay on making those just because those are probably the last two things I'll do, but I might make like 1 or 2 decks in between then, just to mess around, see what I can do. I did look up a website called, I don't remember the name of the website now. I'll probably link it next time, because I'll probably use one of the videos, one of the decks from there, but it has like a format library, so it has a bunch of like decks that topped championships for Yu-Gi-Oh! And it lists their decks, and it shows you like what formats those decks were in, which is really useful for me, because I can look back to 2004 and see what's going on. But as I was saying, this is a burn deck, so I have just a bunch of burn cards with like a bunch of other things, but didn't really start off with the greatest hand here, so I'm gonna have to throw out this Yazaki here. I don't really have any of my play starters, so at least I can get that back with Magician of Faith here. I'm using Magician of Faith. It's 3 copies of Magician of Faith, 3 copies of Giant Germ, and then 3 copies of Chaos Emperor Dragon, and then just a bunch of burn cards. I put in Dragon's Gunfire because it's a solid 800 burn damage, and if I have Chaos Emperor on the field, I can use it with that. But as of right now, it's basically just discard fodder because I don't tend to use it. I was hoping to play around that and maybe get some dragons in the deck that would work. Okay, good. So we got Graceful Charity. Graceful Charity is great. Aside from the deck that lets me draw cards, it lets me discard something like Giant Germ to the graveyard, which I can then use later on with the Chaos Emperor, but I'm actually going to discard it now, along with this, and then go ahead and activate, I won't activate Dark Hole, because I kind of want him to have cards on the field when I bring out Chaos Emperor Dragon, but we're going to go ahead and bring out this Giant Germ. Its effect is pretty good, because it lets me to bring out more monsters to the field. In this game, it's kind of weird because you can only do it one at a time. But I'm trying to get a copy of the dark. I forget what it's called now. The Dark Room of Destruction, something like that. But it's a card when you play it. It's a continuous spell card, and whenever you inflict burn, you inflict 300 burn on top of that. But I'm not seeming to pull it. I could go for the card destruction here. Let's go ahead and use Tremendous Fire. Tremendous Fire is interesting because it inflicts 500 to you, but 1,000 to your opponent. And then I don't really want to lose a lot of these cards. They're pretty useful, but we'll go ahead and use card destruction here. I have a single copy of Card Destruction just in case I kind of brick hard, so I can get some cards. There we go. That's actually pretty good. That extends me out a little bit. So now I can use Pot of Greed. Here, ironically, I won't be able to use Chaos Emperor this turn because I don't have a Giant Germ in the graveyard. Oh, finally. There we go. So now we have Dark Room of Nightmare. That's what it's called. So now I can fire off this Hitama here. It'll do 500. Then Dark Room is going to activate and do another 300 here. And then I can throw off this Final Flame. This is going to do some more damage there. And then finally, I can set this Magician of Faith and then end my turn. In the next turn, I'm hoping to get back probably Graceful Charity. I guess they... Why did they give Snake Acrobat Monkey? I wanted to say, haha, there's that whole thing with... what is this game called? Ape Escape in MGS3, but... okay, no. So it does work, both of them. Okay, never mind. I thought it was just one at a time for some reason. But, yeah, there was that whole thing with Ape Escape, and there's a little mini-game in Metal Gear Solid 3. But that hasn't happened yet, I think? I think that game came out in, like... Oh, maybe it did come out already. Wow. Wow. Okay. So let's go ahead and, so we didn't actually get Magician of Faith. So let's go ahead and activate this Hitama here. Can pretty much win the game right now. Let's go ahead and flip up this Magician of Faith. And I guess, yeah, we're going to want to get Graceful Charity here. Because we can discard this other Magician of Faith for something. And then let's see what else we can discard. So we can discard this Magician of Faith. We've got Hitama and a Tremendous Fire. Tremendous Fire is a little bit more potent, so let's go ahead and fire up this second copy of Dark Room of Nightmare here, and then throw out Tremendous Fire. This deck is pretty interesting because, like, I don't really have to do anything. Oh, I forgot. This thing is only once per... Damage to your opponent. This card's effect is not applied to the effect of... I thought, does it only apply once? I know it doesn't apply to itself, so you can't chain it and do an infinite loop. But each time this card effect is not... Oh. I guess it doesn't chain on itself, so it only activates once. That's interesting. I could have sworn it activated twice, but maybe I'm wrong. Either way, let's go ahead and remove 2 cards here. Smack down Chaos Emperor Dragon, and we're not even going to bother attacking. We're just going to go ahead and activate his effect here to pay 1,000 life points and everything to the graveyard and inflict damage to our opponent here. But I was saying this deck isn't really too crazy because I don't need to play too many restricted cards aside from like Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity and Chaos Emperor, which I know is 9 cards, but I have 3 of each. But that's about it. Nothing else is really restricted. I have like Monster Reborn, but that's not really essential. So it's not compared to like last game and like the Exodia duel where everything I had was a broken card that was restricted in some way, shape, or form. So let's go ahead and just take on Snake here one more time. I also need to go ahead and do some research and see if there's like a tournament. I'm sure there's some sort of Dark World tournament or something like that that we can take part in. And I'll try and see if I can do that. Because there's a couple of other things too. Like there's Merrick in the normal world, so we can duel him. I don't know if dueling him triggers something. And then there's also Yami Bakura and Yami Yugi somewhere in this game. So I gotta try and see if I can face him off. So nothing too great here. Let's go ahead and use Pot of Greed. Draw 2 cards here. Ooh, we're gonna get double Chaos Emperor. That kind of blows, because I definitely don't want to use this card destruction. I probably should have used that beforehand, but I guess we'll just have to end our turn here. Chaos Emperor isn't that bad because I can discard him as a dark here. So I can have a dark monster, and I just really need a Magician of Faith. But Flying Kamakura, they just gave Snake a bunch of random cards. I'm really disappointed. Could have at least given him like a warrior deck or cards that have like guns and shit. But no, they're just like, fuck it. Even though we own this character, let's just give him a bunch of random bullshit. That makes me so sad. Alright, so we got another copy of Dark Hole here. I do have 3 copies of Chaos Emperor, so I could technically Bring it back. I don't really need Monster Reborn. Don't really need Dark Hole. Don't really need a lot of these cards. So let's go ahead and do the risky play. Use Card of Destruction here. Cycle through. Ooh, there we go. That's perfect. I do need to get another copy of Chaos Emperor out of my deck, which is going to be kind of rough. But that's okay. So we have Magician of Faith and Giant Germs. So that's good. Let's go ahead and activate Graceful Charity here. Let's see what we've got. So I guess let's get rid of this Dragon's Gunfire. And probably going to want to keep the Hitama. So let's get rid of the Giant Germ because we already have a Dark in the graveyard. But would have liked to be able to get his effect off. Let's go ahead and activate Final Flame. Do an extra 300 damage there. Throw down Hitama. Do some more damage with that. Throw down Ukazi. Do some damage with that. And then finally, Final Flame. Do 600. Another 300 there. And the next turn we'll draw. Or I should say we'll use Magician of Fate's effect and try and see if we can maybe get, I guess, Graceful Charity. I'm kind of disappointed. They gave him X Cannon Head, would kind of make sense. You can argue that XYZ Dragon Cannon can be a stand-in for... Ooh, maybe I could just get Pot of Greed. Maybe that's a little better. Could be a stand-in for Metal Gear, but he doesn't have an extra deck. So that's kind of disappointing. So you just kind of gave him a vanilla monster. Ooh, double Pot of Greed. Not bad, especially when you have no other cards in your hand. Draw. Ooh, okay, so let's throw this down. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll... I guess we can see if it works right now. So I'm going to activate Hitama. He's going to lose 500. Then he's going to lose 300. And it only works one time. Wow, that's kind of lame. I know they don't trigger on itself, but I would have thought they would have triggered, like, simultaneously, but I guess I'm wrong. That's really disappointed. So we're going to go ahead and activate Yukazi here and almost win. See if we can last one more turn. I also don't have Ring of Destruction because I kind of forgot. Thankfully, Snake is kind of a chump, so he's not really going to be able to finish us off this turn, I think. And let's see how much attack his monster had there. Oh, no, he did. It has 11. I thought it only had like 800. Never mind. We are going to lose to Snake. That's disappointing. But you get the general gist of how the deck works. I don't know if there was anything more that I could have put in the deck. But sort of like to go a different route of it when it comes to burn damage. Because again, it's really difficult to try and figure out what decks to put inside. What decks? I guess I can go with that. What decks to build? Because again, you have just a limited card pool, so it's kind of difficult. But yeah, I think that'll do it. That'll do it for the burn deck. I'm gonna go and look at that website with the format, see if there's any good decks that I can try and muster up. If not, then we'll do a Go Control and a Chaos Emperor, or just Chaos deck, Chaos Lock, whatever you want to call it, Chaos Control. And I'll do some research and see if I can find out how to get Yami Yugi and Yami Bakura to show up. But in any case, take care of yourself.